Good morning, everyone. I want you to imagine something for a second. What if your future, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you live wasn't determined by luck or your age or even your genetics, but by the choices you make today about your health? Your body is an incredible machine, but like any machine, it depends on the fuel you put into it. Most people today are unknowingly running on the wrong type of fuel, and that's why they feel drained, unfocused, and unhealthy. Think about it. If you poured soda into your car's gas tank, the engine would break down. Yet every single day, many of us pour sugar, refined carbs, and processed junk into our bodies and then wonder why the system doesn't work properly. When you fuel your body with sugar, you create a cycle of constant ups and downs. You eat a carb heavy meal, your blood sugar spikes, you get a quick burst of energy, but then the crash comes. Now you feel sluggish, irritable, and hungry again. That's when the cravings hit and you reach for another quick fix. Over time, this roller coaster not only makes you tired, it damages your metabolism, contributes to weight gain, and increases your risk of chronic conditions. Your body is not designed to thrive on sugar as its primary fuel. There's a better option, and that's fat. When your body learns to run on fat as its main source of fuel, everything changes. Fat is a more stable, efficient energy source. Instead of spikes and crashes, you experience steady energy that lasts for hours. Instead of constant hunger, you can go longer without eating because your body taps into stored fat. That's the natural design of the human body. Burning fat was how we survived when food wasn't available every few hours. When you shift your fuel source from sugar to fat, you're not just changing your diet, you're transforming your entire system. Brain fog lifts because your brain loves ketones, which are produced when your body burns fat. Energy levels rise because you're no longer dependent on snacks every couple of hours to stay awake. Your mood evens out because you're not crashing from blood sugar highs and lows. And perhaps most importantly, your future health changes. The risks tied to insulin resistance, obesity, and inflammation start to go down simply because you gave your body the right conditions to heal itself. Now, people often think this means extreme dieting or depriving yourself, but it doesn't. It's about shifting gradually toward real nutrient-dense foods and allowing your body time to adapt. Start by cutting down on refined carbs and processed snacks. Replace them with healthy fats, vegetables, and proteins that support your metabolism. Add in intermittent fasting and you'll accelerate the process. When you give your body breaks from constant eating, you're telling it to use stored fat as fuel. That's when the magic happens. What's fascinating is that the transformation isn't just physical, it impacts your future in every area. When you're not constantly tired, you perform better at work. When your mood stabilizes, your relationships improve. When you're not weighed down by health issues, you're free to focus on your goals. It's a ripple effect. Better health creates a better future because everything you want to achieve in life depends on the energy and vitality you bring to it. Most people underestimate the power of food because the changes don't always happen overnight. But the truth is, every bite you take is either helping you or hurting you. Every meal is a choice about what kind of fuel you want to run on, and those choices add up, shaping not only your health today, but also the quality of your life tomorrow. Changing your fuel source is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. If you continue on sugar, the future holds more fatigue, more weight gain, and more health struggles. But if you choose fat as your primary fuel, your future holds energy, clarity, and resilience. It's a simple concept, but it can transform your entire life because when you change the fuel, you change the future. Every choice you make with your health is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your future. It might not seem like much at the time, but the food you eat today, the sleep you get tonight, the stress you carry tomorrow, all of it is shaping the quality of your life 5, 10, even 20 years from now. Think of your health like the most important bank account you'll ever own. You can build it up with smart decisions or you can drain it with neglect. And just like a financial account, the compounding effect is real. Small deposits over time create a big return, while small withdrawals repeated daily eventually leave you bankrupt. Most people only start paying attention to their health when the account is nearly empty. They wait until the warning signs show up: fatigue that doesn't go away, weight gain that won't stop, aches, brain fog, or the scary diagnosis from the doctor. But by that point, they've already been making withdrawals for years. The fast food meals, the late nights, the constant stress, the sedentary habits, they all added up. The good news is your body, unlike money, has an incredible ability to recover. The moment you start depositing, it begins working in your favor. The body is designed to heal if you give it the right conditions. Think about what happens when you invest in good sleep. Your body doesn't just feel rested, it repairs tissue, balances hormones, and strengthens memory. That one simple deposit multiplies across every system. Or consider what happens when you fuel your body with nutrient dense foods instead of processed carbs and sugar. You're not just satisfying hunger, you're feeding your cells, lowering inflammation, and supporting your metabolism. Again, the return multiplies. And when you take time to relax, breathe, and manage stress, you're not wasting time. You're investing in lower cortisol, better heart health, and a stronger immune system. This is why health is the best investment you can ever make. Money in the bank might give you options, but without health, you can't fully enjoy them. Think all the people who work tirelessly for decades only to find themselves too exhausted or too sick to actually live the life they work for. They had the wealth, but not the health. The reverse is also true. Someone who may not be financially rich but invests daily in their body often experiences energy, clarity, and vitality that money can't buy. That energy becomes the foundation for building a future that feels rich in every sense of the word. One of the most common excuses people give for neglecting their health is time. They say they don't have the time to cook, to exercise, or to fast. But what they don't realize is they're trading a small inconvenience today for a much bigger cost later. It's like refusing to save $1 because you think it won't matter, then waking up years later without anything to fall back on. Time invested in health is never wasted. In fact, it gives you more time because healthy years are productive years, vibrant years, years where you can actually do the things you dream about. The body rewards consistency. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. Small deposits made every day build momentum. Choose water over soda. Choose a walk over another half hour of scrolling. Choose rest over staying up late for no reason. These deposits accumulate. And just like compound interest, the earlier you start, the bigger the payoff. But even if you've been making withdrawals for years, it's never too late to turn it around. The body doesn't hold grudges, it responds to what you do now. So ask yourself, what kind of future are you funding? One where you're full of energy, sharp in mind, and strong in body, or one where you're constantly paying off the debt of poor choices? Every choice is a transaction, and every transaction has consequences. The future you want depends on the investments you make today. Treat your health like the priceless asset it is, because the return is not just years added to your life, but life added to your years. Most people today walk around believing that fatigue, stubborn weight gain, brain fog, and poor sleep are just a normal part of life. They assume that getting older automatically means losing energy, feeling tired all the time, and then depending on medications to get through the day. But the truth is, these things are not normal. They're simply common. And there is a huge difference between what is common in our society and what should actually be considered normal for a healthy human body. When you think about it, the human body is designed for strength, endurance, and mental clarity. For thousands of years, people survived with sharp instincts, strong immune systems, and the ability to go long periods without food. That's what's normal. What's common now is sitting at a desk all day, consuming heavily processed food, being bombarded by stress, and never giving the body a chance to reset. So when someone says it's just normal to be tired all the time, what they really mean is it's become common because almost everyone around them is experiencing the same thing. But that doesn't mean it's the natural state of the body. This confusion between normal and common is dangerous because it lowers our standards for health. When we accept that aches, low energy, and poor digestion are just part of life, we stop searching for solutions. We resign ourselves to the idea that nothing can change. And in doing so, we deny the body its chance to. The body is incredibly adaptable, but it responds to the conditions you give it. Feed it sugar and processed carbs all day, and it will adapt by creating cravings, storing fat, and wearing down. Feed it nutrient-dense foods and allow it to burn fat for fuel, and it will adapt by giving you energy, focus, and stability. One powerful example of this is how people feel when they first experience intermittent fasting or a low carb, high nutrient diet. At first, they're shocked at how much energy they have, how clear their mind feels, and how quickly inflammation starts to go down. And then they realize something important. This is what normal feels like. Normal is having steady energy from morning to night. Normal is being able to concentrate without constantly fighting off brain fog. Normal is going through your day without being ruled by cravings every 2 hours. These things are not superhuman. They are the natural state of the body when you give it the right fuel and lifestyle. But here's the challenge: common habits in our modern world constantly push us away from what's normal. We're told it's normal to eat 6 times a day, normal to drink sugar-laden beverages, normal to snack late at night, normal to medicate every symptom instead of addressing the cause. And because this pattern is so widespread, people don't question it. Yet, if you step back, you can see clearly that it's not working. Rates of diabetes, obesity, and chronic illness are higher than ever. If this were truly normal, we wouldn't see so much suffering. The good news is that you don't have to accept what's common. You can choose to redefine normal for yourself. It doesn't require extreme measures, it requires awareness and small, consistent changes. Cutting out processed foods and sugar, eating whole nutrient dense meals, giving your body time to rest between meals, prioritizing sleep. These are the basics of returning to normal. And the body responds quickly when you give it what it needs. Imagine waking up with energy that lasts all day without needing constant caffeine. Imagine being free from the cycle of cravings and crashes. Imagine being able to focus deeply without fighting off mental fog. That's not wishful thinking. That's the real normal. And once you experience it, you'll never want to settle for what's just common again, because common is easy, but normal is powerful. Common holds you back, but normal sets you free. And the choice between the two is yours. Every part of your life rests on a foundation, and that foundation is your health. You can have ambition, intelligence, talent, and even wealth, but if your body isn't functioning the way it should, everything else becomes harder. Health is not just one aspect of life, it is the base upon which everything else is built. Without it, your future success, relationships, and dreams all sit on shaky ground. With it, you gain the strength, energy, and clarity to pursue your goals fully. Think about someone who is trying to build a career while struggling with fatigue. Every meeting feels like a challenge, every task takes twice as long, and the constant lack of energy erodes their confidence. Now, think about someone who is physically strong and mentally sharp. That person approaches challenges with resilience, handles stress more effectively, and performs at their best. Both people may have the same skills and opportunities, but the difference in health changes the trajectory of their future. That's why health is the foundation of success. The same applies to family and relationships. When your health is compromised, even the people you love most can feel the strain. It's hard to be fully present with your children if you're exhausted every evening. It's difficult to be patient with your partner if your body is weighed down with stress, aches, or poor sleep. But when your body feels light, energized, and balanced, you show up differently, you listen better, connect more deeply, and bring more joy into your relationships. Good health doesn't just benefit you, it radiates into the lives of everyone around you. What many people don't realize is that health amplifies every effort you make. If you want to be more productive at work, good health gives you the focus and stamina to accomplish more in less time. If you want to grow financially, good health helps you make better decisions and think more clearly. If you want to pursue a passion, whether it's travel, art, or learning new skills, good health makes it possible to fully engage without limitation. The foundation of health doesn't just support one area of life, it elevates them all. The problem is that society often teaches us to chase success at the expense of health. Long work hours, skipped meals, late nights, and constant stress are praised as dedication. But this approach builds success on a weak foundation, and eventually it cracks. Burnout, illness, or chronic fatigue show up, and the very success you worked so hard for begins to feel like a burden. It's like building a skyscraper on sand. Sooner or later, it collapses. True success is built on a foundation strong enough to hold it. Rebuilding that foundation doesn't mean drastic or complicated changes. It starts with simple, intentional choices that support your body instead of drain it. Eating foods that nourish rather than deplete, giving your body time to fast and reset, prioritizing real rest, and finding ways to reduce stress are the bricks that strengthen the base. These habits don't take away from your career, your family, or your dreams. They make all of them more sustainable. The most powerful part of focusing on your health is how quickly the benefits show up. Within days of eating cleaner, getting proper sleep, or practicing intermittent fasting, people often notice their energy returning, their mind sharpening, and their mood stabilizing. These small shifts reinforce the truth that health is not a luxury. It is the foundation that everything else rests on. Once you build that solid foundation, you'll find that the goals you once struggled to reach become far more attainable, not because they became easier, but because you became stronger. Your future is not just determined by your ambition or your opportunities, but by the strength of the foundation you build today. When you make health your priority, you set yourself up for a future where your energy, clarity, and vitality carry you forward in every area of life. When most people think about transforming their health, they imagine it requires drastic diets, extreme workouts, or a complete overhaul of their lifestyle. That mindset stops them before they even start because it feels overwhelming. But the truth is, real transformation begins with small changes. Those little shifts, repeated consistently, create momentum that leads to big results. Your body doesn't need perfection, it needs progress. And progress can start with something as simple as one decision at a time. Take the example of skipping breakfast one day a week. For someone used to eating first thing in the morning, this might seem insignificant, but it allows the body to rest from constant digestion and begin tapping into stored fat for fuel. The person notices they actually feel more alert and energized instead of sluggish. That one small change opens the door to bigger ones like extending the fast or adjusting meals. What began as a single skip breakfast becomes the start of a new relationship with food and energy, or consider replacing one carb heavy meal with a nutrient dense option. Instead of pasta or bread, you choose vegetables, healthy fats, and protein. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet in one day, just shift one plate. The body responds quickly to better fuel, reducing inflammation, stabilizing blood sugar, and providing steady energy. Over time, those single meals accumulate into an entirely new way of eating without the stress of an all or nothing plan. What makes small changes so powerful is that they are achievable. They don't rely on willpower alone, which often burns out when you try to do everything at once. Small steps are sustainable, and sustainability is what creates lasting results. When you succeed at one change, you build confidence. That confidence fuels the next step, and soon you've created a chain reaction of positive habits. It's not about how fast you move, it's about building momentum in the right direction. The body thrives on consistency more than intensity. Crash diets, extreme fasting, or punishing exercise routines may produce short-term results, but they rarely last because they are too hard to sustain. But walking for 20 minutes every day, that's sustainable. Drinking more water instead of soda, sustainable. Choosing whole foods over processed snacks, sustainable. Each of these small actions is a deposit into your future health account, and together they grow into something substantial. What's remarkable is how these little shifts impact not just your body, but your mind. When you start to feel more energetic from a small adjustment, your brain connects that action with reward. You feel motivated to keep going because the payoff is tangible. The change is no longer abstract, it's real, and you can feel it. Over time, the compounding effect takes place. 10 small improvements in your daily routine can produce a transformation that looks and feels dramatic, but was built step by step. There's also a psychological benefit to starting small. Many people carry guilt or frustration from failed attempts at dieting or exercising in the past. They tried to do too much too fast and couldn't maintain it. Small changes eliminate that pressure. Instead of focusing on failure, you focus on small wins. Those wins rebuild your belief in your ability to change. Once you trust yourself again, transformation becomes inevitable. The future of your health doesn't depend on a massive leap. It depends on the choices you make in the next hour, the next meal, the next decision to rest instead of push yourself past exhaustion. Each one is an opportunity to take a small step toward the life you want. And when you look back months or years from now, you'll realize those small steps added up to something bigger than you ever imagined. Transformation isn't built in a single day. It's built in small, consistent decisions that over time reshape your body, your mind, and your future. No one else can transform your health for you. Not your doctor, not your family, not your trainer. They can guide you, encourage you, and provide tools. But at the end of the day, the decision rests with you. This is both empowering and challenging. It means the responsibility is yours, but it also means the power is yours. At the moment you decide that your health is a priority, you set in motion a future that looks very different from the one you're heading toward right now. Too many people wait for a crisis before they make that decision. They wait for the diagnosis, the medication, or the point where their body forces them to stop. But by then, years of poor choices have already accumulated. The challenge is to not wait until it's too late. The challenge is to recognize that every day you delay, you are making an unconscious choice to accept fatigue, poor health, and a shorter future. On the other hand, every day you take action, you are moving closer to energy, clarity, and longevity. This isn't about perfection. It's not about eating flawlessly or exercising endlessly. It's about commitment, a commitment to show up for yourself, even in small ways, every single day. Maybe it's saying no to soda and drinking water instead. Maybe it's shutting down your phone an hour earlier to get proper sleep. Maybe it's choosing to fast until noon instead of eating out of habit. These choices might feel small in the moment, but collectively, they signal a powerful decision. You are in control. What makes this challenge so meaningful is that it's not only about adding years to your life, but about adding life to your years. Imagine being able to play with your kids or grandkids without feeling exhausted. Imagine having the energy to travel, to pursue passions, to wake up excited for the day ahead. That's the kind of life health makes possible. Without it, even the simplest joys can feel like struggles. With it, the future opens up with possibility. The truth is, change is uncomfortable at first. Breaking habits, resisting cravings, or trying something new feels foreign, but discomfort is temporary, and on the other side is freedom. Once your body adapts to a healthier way of living, the discomfort fades and is replaced by strength and confidence. You no longer have to push yourself through every day. You flow through it with energy that feels natural. The challenge is to push past that initial resistance long enough to reach that point of freedom. It's also important to realize that no one else can carry this challenge for you. Your family may want you to be healthy, your friends may encourage you, but they can't make your choices. You are the one who lifts the fork, who decides when to sleep, who chooses whether to move your body or stay sedentary. That might sound like pressure, but it's actually freedom. You're not at the mercy of others. You hold the keys to your own transformation. So the challenge is clear: start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until life slows down or until circumstances improve. Life will always be busy, stressful, and unpredictable. If you keep waiting, you'll keep losing time. The best moment to start is the moment you decide that your future is worth fighting for, because it is. Every meal, every choice, every step is a chance to prove to yourself that you are capable of change. And once you prove it, momentum builds. Your body responds, your mind sharpens, your confidence grows. The challenge isn't easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. And when you look back, you'll realize the hardest part wasn't the changes themselves. It was simply deciding to begin